You know, I've been thinking for quite a while. Well, that while it's upon us. What I was thinking was, what do you do for review number 100 for BodyBags? What do you do? What do you do? Well, you do what you think is the greatest slasher of all freaking time. That's what you do.
BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 I'm your Wednesday night host here at BodyBags. Man, it is week 364. It is random week. It is the week that precedes theme week, man. And at the end of the month, we got some Jean Rollins coming at you. Ought to be a fantastic week that lies ahead here. But for this week, it is random week again. And man, I thought for review number 100, man, I wanted to bring some Italian goodness, but I wanted to bring to the table what I think is the greatest slasher of all time. But first, let me just say this, man. It is number 100 review for me on BodyBags, and this just wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for each and every single one of you, and I so appreciate the support. You guys could have dumped me off by the wayside, man, 80 reviews ago, man, but you let me just go, man, and I appreciate it. It's been a fun ride, man, and we still got some time left here. We got some reviews to get to, man, and I just love what's happening at BodyBags right now, man. It's just some good stuff happening, man, and some good things are coming together. I just ask you guys to just keep on, man, keep on. It's awesome. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, let's just start right here. The greatest slasher ever from Italy, from one Michele Soavi in 1987. He took a little break from second unit work with Argento on Opera, man, and he got his directorial debut, which we ought to say he wasn't even a fan of. Joe D'Amato pushed him out into this stage, so to speak, and maybe it is appropriate that that one of the names this movie goes by is StageFright, because Soavi would have been just as happy just being a second unit guy working for Argento the rest of his life. But he got a little nudge and a push out onto the stage, so to speak, and his first effort, StageFright, Aquarius, or as it was released in Italy, Deliria, or also known as Bloody Bird, or The Soundstage Massacre, or Theater of Death. Take your freaking pick, man. It is a freaking unrelenting, brutal freaking slasher that is clothed in a touch of giallo, man. That couldn't have come from anyone better than Michele Soavi, man, because he learned from the great, man. Whether it was Joe D'Amato, whether it was Argento, whether it was Bava, whether it was Fulci, whether it was Ippolito, man, he is a byproduct of the Italian horror industry, man, and he was in a prime position to push and breathe new life into this industry. But unfortunately and sadly, in 1993, Cemetery Man would be the last theatrical film that he would offer, and he has been relegated to Italian TV ever since. It's just a freaking crying shame. But let's get into this, man. It's a constrained film, a horror film, really within on a sound stage. You have a director, Peter, who's played by David Brandon, who I freaking just love. Basically, this is a director, man. He's high-strung. He's at the end of his wits, man. He's just trying to get this stage show, man, The Night Owl, going, trying to get this ready for release to the public. And, man, he's just fighting against so much. He just wants to make that perfect play, theater, whatever, in order to just get him the next step up and those around him as well. This is a guy who's doesn't get enough credit for his character, the complexity of it. I mean, you know, with him, I think a lot about our guy from King Kong and the complexity with his character, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of self-interest at heart and or greed or whatever to do for oneself. But at the same time, man, they do want to better those around them, first and foremost themselves, but then those around them as well. So I mean, you know, Peter is not what a lot make him out to be in terms of how they review this film and whatnot. But he's, like I said, high-strung, trying to get this thing done. One of his main girls, Alicia, played by Barbara Cupisti, she has a problem. with her ankle, twists it, sprains it, whatever. Betty, who works costumes, they decide to try to sneak out the back entrance with the help of Willie, sort of like the caretaker there of the stage house. And he's not supposed to do this, but they do. He lets them out, and they go out. And they go to the closest place, which is a mental asylum, which, you know, again, there's some elements to this film that it just seems like Michele is intelligently really just poking some fun at this genre. At least a genre that was reaching its end in America. And so I just find it interesting how he has his chance in '87 to put sort of his stamp on things in terms of what was yellow in Italy, what was now American slasher, and bringing the two together in a nice, interesting way. But they get there, and of course, our prime villain, Irving Wallace, who was an actor himself, who went nuts, he, of course, overhears them in the hallway, and, of course, you know, will find his way out of his room and into the back of their car, follow them, ride with them back to the stage house. Of course, they've got the key to get entrance back in, hoping Peter doesn't know about it. And as they get in there, all is fine. But then Betty forgets something and needs to go back out again. She'll become our first casualty. And once Irving Wallace retrieves the key, he will make his way into the theater house. And consequently, man, once Betty's body is found and the police have come in and made the assumption that the killer is gone, and once he's in and Peter makes the decision, let's capitalize on this thing, this is what we've been waiting for. Our killer now will be named Irving Wallace. We're just sort of going to take that persona, bringing it into our show, and hopefully by the time we open, man, we are getting, the lines are going to be down this freaking street. And so, you know, there's a capitalizing, you know, effort here. So he sends some of the cast members away, he keeps his core element, and then once the doors are locked and the key's hidden, so no one can get out, Irving Wallace, man, Irving Wallace. He goes after Brett first, of course, Giavanni Lambardo, Radice, man, absolutely love that guy as an actor. He plays our Irving Wallace initially, but of course, the real guy will take on the killer in the stage show, and man, all mayhem. There is so much to love about this freaking movie, man. So much. Just the closed-in environment, the atmosphere, the direction of Michele, the score from Simon Boswell, which is freaking awesome. George Eastman as writer. Of course, we know him as the Beast from Anthropophagus, right? He was a known writer, Italian cinema, right? Michele Soavi, and all that he brings to the freaking table. The gore, man. Unfreaking relenting, the gore, man. This movie, man, it never gets old on me watching this thing, man. As far as I'm concerned, man, I'm losing my voice. This is the greatest, man. I love this movie. Ever since being a kid, renting the thing off the video shop on VHS, just like I have here, of course, behind me, I got the Exposure Cinema UK release. I got the Blue Underground release. I even got compliments from my parents when I was a kid. For my birthday, I got the Japanese pirated Laserdisc on VHS. That was the very first copy of StageFright that I've ever owned. And eventually, though, I did score this on Amazon, just kind of, you know, have that nostalgia effect of just having this, because really, this, in effect, is what I rented as a kid. I mean, the clamshell might have been white and not black, I can't remember. Dude, this movie, man, I don't know, it's just, man, let me just say this real quick, so I don't run over on time. A lot of you out there are familiar with this movie. I want to just say one thing about the end, or maybe two things real quick, without giving really anything away. The end gets a lot of freaking flack, and a lot of it has to do with the very end. Once Alicia, who really is our last survivor, it gets out of there to effect, and once she gets out of the hospital, she realizes that her watch must have fallen off her wrist somewhere at the stage house. And so she makes the decision to come back, and of course as she's coming back, wouldn't you know it, Willie just happens to be showing up. She begs and pleads him, and against his better judgment, he lets her in to go find the watch. But it's that decision right there that serves ultimately as a nice, very neat bookend to an earlier choice he made that will bring the mayhem in the theater. The choice he brings or makes at the end sort of makes amends for that choice. And so I find that whether that end could have been written just a little better or whatnot, the choices involved and just the narrative, it does offer up a brilliant way of bringing in a nice bookend for Willie. Because really, in the end, man, he is the cause of all of this, for going against what had already been laid out as, don't let anyone out. He does let them out. They ultimately come back with a killer. And he's got to answer for this in a way. I mean, it's really his fault. But the end, he is enabled to make a decision that will help make amends, sort of, for that choice. And so, and then there's something towards the very, very, very end. And all I'll say to that is, for those of you who've already seen it, and some of you maybe will see it, you know, the end may come across as somewhat corny or whatever, but Michele is making a statement about the American slasher as a genre. He's poking fun at it, and that is all that it's meant to be, and so much more has been made out of it. So I don't really get that stuff, man. But I love this freaking movie, man. Just the closed-in, atmospheric, restrained or constrained, contained, I guess, film. It is, again, unrelenting. It's brutal. It brings the gore, man. And it really is, man. It really is. And in some ways, it's an interesting companion piece to opera, maybe, perhaps. And fortunately, I'm so freaking glad that this thing has always been left as a solitary film. Never any sequels. It was never turned into a franchise. It's just this, man. It is just this. And this is worth alone, man. I'm revisiting. So anyways, I'm just going to stop there. Not sure where my time is, man. But again, man, it is so awesome, man. Thank you so much for all the support, man, for the first 100 reviews, for all that you bring to Body Bags by just watching and commenting and liking and subbing and all that stuff. And the weeks that lie ahead, just thank you, man. I just can't say that enough. Really do appreciate it. As always, man, as always, we leave these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream.